Hey, Brian JT. Hey, it's Brian JT Watts here. Come together. Today we are talking to one of my boys from Louisville, Kentucky. Yes, Louisville, Kentucky. My man Isaac Conn. And we're going to get into it with him. So after the intro, I'll see you in a minute. And we'll get with Isaac Conn. Take it easy.
This is the greatest game of telephone that has ever been played. Someone said the black man doesn't raise his kids or care for his family, and that message is still being told to everyone today. They even have us saying,
We are not a monolith. We have various opinions and thoughts. We are much more than what we are portrayed to be by the media.
even when we are the victims of injustice, we are still portrayed as the perpetrators. When it comes to the black man, there is an intentional plan to discredit the past, arrest the present, and destroy the future.
Something must be done, but nothing will work until we come together. Hey viewers, Brian JT Watts here with Isaac Conn. I know he's a husband, he's a dad. He's got a lot going on, so I'm going to let him just tell you what he does right now in his professional life, and then we'll get into some other stuff that's going on with him. So Isaac, how's it going today, man? You doing all right?
What's going on, my man? You know how we do.
Listen, I know how we do. I know how we've done. So we're going to try to.
Listen, don't go too far back now.
Right. But I mean, I have some struggles sometimes getting with you guys because of our time, because of scheduling, and because of Wi-Fi issues and all of that stuff. But it always feels good when it finally works, because then it feels like I worked hard for the interview. Like I'm like, okay, cool, this is good.
Yeah,
Really worked hard.
once you look back at it, it's good. It's good quality. You're like, oh, we talked about that. Yeah, okay.
Right. So now it feels like we're all famous because we worked so hard to get it done. Like, okay, cool. This is good stuff. So tell the ladies and gentlemen out here, tell them what you do now for a living.
Oh man, like I told you. Well, we tried this last week or so, but like I told you before, I'm a field service engineer,
Right.
and that's what I do for a living. That's what puts the roof over our heads and all of that stuff.
And the
But
nice art in the background, it does all of that.
yeah, man, that's some old TJ Maxx specials.
I like it.
I ain't gonna sit here in front like,
TJ Maxx. I didn't know that I liked TJ Maxx that much, but that is nice. So yeah.
yeah, I ain't gonna sit here in front like, it's somebody's art. That's a TJ Maxx special. Like, yeah.
Cool.
So no, but you gotta lay it out. It's all in how you lay it out.
That is more than anything I've heard today, because I mean, the other day I was in New York, and I was at a play, and people were looking. I saw this girl that I knew. She said, "Oh, Brian, you're looking good," and I was like, "That's funny," because the pants and the shirt I had on was from Walmart, and I was like, "Wow, this is what everybody's giving me compliments," and I'm like, "Wow, I don't even usually dress for Walmart, but this day I was Walmart down," and I was just like, "Yo," and people were still like, I mean, they're like, "Yo, the way your shoes match," and I was like, "Oh, really? Okay, cool."
Yeah.
So
It's all in how you do it. I think it was the way I was raised, as far as like making sure everything fit or whatever. Because right now, the pants I have on are from Walmart, to keep it 100.
Well, listen, either I think it's one of two things, or maybe both. We know how to coordinate, and Walmart stepped up a little. So
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, they got some decent stuff.
I'm not gonna buy a Walmart suit, and I'm probably not gonna buy the shoes. But
no.
And all the other stuff, yeah, we can.
You know what I'm saying? The t-shirts and it's some pants, work pants, something like that. You can get by with.
No doubt. That's good stuff. Now, you told me before, and since I'm a teacher, I've really got connected to this, that you are the guy who comes to fix a copier.
Yes, basically, in layman's terms.
Which makes you every teacher's best friend.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't imagine even if you weren't you, because you have a personality, you usually have a good smile and everything. You're real welcoming type guy. But even if you weren't, if you were mean and nasty and you were fixing a copier, everybody would love you. I mean, that's just what it is. So for you to go in there now, I'm thinking you're walking like they're going next on stage. You know,
when I walk in the door, it's a totally different atmosphere. I've been offered, you know, the firstborn,
wow,
cakes, cookies, money, and then they say, well, we don't want you to leave until it's done.
That's right.
So do you want a desk? You want an office? You know, so I've been offered all types of stuff.
Yeah, I don't think people who are not in education understand. All of y'all out there paying attention to the show and listening and watching. When a copier goes down in a school, it's
crazy. And because you all don't use books anymore.
Well, even when we used books,
you make copies of.
There's stuff you want to pass out to the
right.
kids. But yeah, since books aren't as big anymore, copying is a bigger thing. And even though now we have stuff like I can make a packet that can last for 3 weeks and I can send it out early and get it copied and brought back. But then there's kids who still didn't bring their packet, or there might be something extra I want to do that day that I want to pull out of, you know, something else. And it's usually a last minute thing that we're doing before school starts or during our planning period. You want to run to the copy machine and get a copy of, you know, a couple of 100 copies or whatever. And when you go and you see the red light on or something, you're like, like, this is crazy. And, you know, those people plan ahead. They'll be in the room too. It doesn't matter if you plan ahead or you don't. Everybody gets stuck at the copy machine. And so somebody like you, who we've never paid attention to before in our life, becomes like the life giver, the savior, and everything.
Yeah.
It's a big thing. And I can't even, I mean, like, I'm sure you probably can get bigger tips than the pizza delivery man, because it's like, yo, he's coming in here to fix everything. And the cheers that you probably get if they're in the room when you're fixing it, it's like, oh my goodness.
Just today, everybody that came in, just today, I was at a place and they were just so happy. Everybody that came in said, oh, thank you for coming. Oh my God, I was tired of going upstairs. And another, I guess, benefit in the part that I love is I get to meet new people every day.
Yeah.
I meet somebody different every single day. I do 4 to 5 to 6 calls a day.
Oh,
so wow. I'm meeting somebody new every single day. And I've been to places that the normal person would never go.
Right.
Today I was in, I don't know if I won't say the name, but I'm going to say the name anyway, Reynolds Wrap.
Okay.
So I was in that company.
Right.
And
everybody has a copier. That's true. More than just the schools. You're right.
Oh yeah, it's everywhere. I've been to law firms, mayor's offices, sanitation, jails, prisons. Say it again.
You're a man about the city now. I mean,
yeah.
Listen,
everybody knows me.
People don't understand the network. Using the network that you have is what it's about. And that's one of the reasons why I have you on here. I don't know how much you know about our show, but our show is definitely to promote the positivity of Black men. We get a bad rap. There's a lot of course, there are a lot of Black men doing all kind of crazy things, but there are a lot of men, period, doing these things. Somehow it seems to stick to our whole community. So my goal in this show, Come Together, is to show that there are plenty, if not more than what you've heard, there's plenty more positive Black men out here doing their thing. You know, living with their families, taking care of their kids, loving their wives, you know, working jobs and not sitting at home playing video games and smoking weed, and that's all they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Right. I mean, some people are doing that in addition to that stuff, but you know, I mean,
in addition to working,
right? Exactly, and still being a part of society. So I definitely wanted to bring you on. Now, one thing I was impressed with you about, and I definitely want you to break this down to all of the viewers. You have a show that's at least once a year, and I don't know what year this is. How many times have you done this show now?
This will be our 7th year.
Okay, and I think that this show is one of the most positive things. If it wasn't for the pandemic, I probably would have been down there last year, even though it's not for me. I would have been down there just to be backstage and support. And I'm still trying to do that because, you know, y'all are doing stuff that I love to do. So please break down to our viewers about this show that you have every year in Louisville, Kentucky.
It's called Ladies Night Out. and it's a show for all ladies. All ladies are in the audience. It's a family friendly show. I'm the host, MC, and a good friend of mine who was also on your show, Fred Parker,
All right.
is my co-host. And we have a band, and he'll sing, and he has some backup singers and stuff. I'll do jokes, comedy, games, stuff like that. So we'll feed the women. My whole staff is all men. So you get catered, you come in, there's red carpet, there's pictures. All my guys will take pictures of the women, with their phones, and they, take selfies, and it's just a really good time. We decorate the room, we light it up with, up lighting, and we have all types of music, old school music. They get to dance, they get to sing along with us. So it's just one big party. And the way it got started was my wife has a lot of shoes, as all women do. And so I was looking at her shoes, and I was like, how can I get some money back for all of these shoes that she's not wearing? So she has, so we came up with a ladies' night out show
Okay.
where it was called a shoe swap. And that you take the first one was a shoe swap. And you
Okay.
take, she would bring a brand new pair of shoes that she's never wore,
Right.
and another woman would bring a brand new pair of shoes that she's never wore. They'll check them in, and one of the girls that worked with us, she would put them all on the table. And at the end of the night, after the show, you would just go to this area and choose another pair of shoes.
Wow.
So it's either one time wear or brand new. So you're switching shoes that you probably wasn't gonna wear anyway. So we
Wow.
called that ladies' night out shoe swap, and that was the first year, and it
So wait,
went over
how many women
well.
did that bring out? Did that bring out like a bunch of women?
Yeah, the first year we set the room for about 110. So
Okay.
and we got about 80 folk that night. And
That's pretty
then
good.
the next year we did the red shoe edition.
Did they know you were gonna have shoes at the thing?
Yeah, we had to promote it that way. We was like, hey, bring a pair of shoes. It was a hard sell. I basically had to talk it up the whole thing because it's something that's never been done before
Right.
that I've seen. And so people were like, well, what is it? What's going on? Are we gonna sit around and swap shoes and under the table? And I was like, no, 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 no. Just hold on. I'll explain it to you or whatever. So we did that the first year, and the next year was the red shoe edition. And
The
then
red
the
box.
next the red no, no.
Oh,
They
wow.
ain't, no, they ain't that high end. But it was a couple pair there. It was a couple
Right.
pair
I'm
there.
sure. I'm sure.
Yeah. And so we did the red shoe edition, and then they wore red shoes. And then the next year was a little black dress, and then we had a black and white night. Then we had a one night we didn't have a theme.
Okay.
And then one year, last year, this year actually in March, it was all white night.
Okay.
So
Okay.
it was real nice. All white night was real
Around.
nice.
I've been going around with your themes. That's good. You
Yeah.
keep it fresh. Now,
So
I
what I and let me finish up by saying we get all the women in, they pay for their tickets and they get all the entertainment, you get food and drinks and all of that stuff. And then after I pay all the bills, I take the proceeds and I go out and buy onesies, pampers, diapers, bottles, uh, all types of clothes for little kids. And I take them to a random daycare because
okay.
I work all over the city.
Nice.
So I'm just driving and I'll stop at a random daycare and preferably in the hood
Right.
because we always need, you know what I'm saying? So I go in, knock on the door, here you go. And I just drop it off. Boxes, bags, gift bags, all of this stuff. And they're like, well, where's this guy? And I'm like, rob from the rich, give to the poor type of thing, you know what I'm saying?
So
And
you're telling
and
me
and I
that
just leave. And I leave.
it's possible that a woman who might have 4 or 5 kids says, "Hey, I'm gonna go to this thing this year. I really need the time off." She gets somebody to watch her kids, or her oldest kid watches whatever, and she gets dressed up. She goes to your function,
Uh-huh.
enjoys herself, because I don't know. I know that women love to go out and to be catered. Every people do, period. But
Right.
especially when you see a bunch of women that's been working hard or doing whatever, they get to relax and nobody's trying to get
Yeah.
their number, nobody's bothering them, and they're just getting dinner. You're getting a full show,
Yeah.
crazy men just catering to you. That's a great night. So it's possible that this lady goes there, she has a great night, she comes back home, she's like, all right, I'm ready to jump back into everything I need to jump into in my life. And then that next Monday, the daycare where her kid goes gets blessed with a bunch of stuff. I mean, it's possible.
It's possible.
That happens. And I mean, to see something like that to me is amazing. One, I definitely need to know, where did you get this idea to say, I'm going to put on this big show in Louisville? Because Louisville, a lot of people don't know, Louisville is more of a big city than people think.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And most people, I mean, I've been there a couple times, and I know I wasn't thinking that in the beginning. I'm a New Yorker, so it's kind of hard for us to get it.
Well, listen, man. Every city and state is not New York, man.
Right.
But we have things going on.
They show it to us like it's just
it's
grass, music, and nothing else going on. It's Kentucky Fried Chicken, and that's it. You know what I'm saying? And so when I came to Louisville and I had fun, and I was just like, oh, okay, this is a spot. So you know, you got a big Yum Center, you got all kind of stuff going on out there. So it's a big city, and if I were you, I know, well, not if I were you, but if I was the one doing the show, I'd be like, every March, I'm about to make a bunch of money, and my wife's gonna have some more shoes. So what made it to the point where you said, you know what, I am going to make sure that as I get this money in for this show, that I'm going to bless somebody else? What made that your thing?
I think it was just the way I was raised. Seventh-day Adventist Church, and the way we were raised, and just giving back. It's not, I'm not gonna, we can. Nobody's trying to be a millionaire. Nobody's trying to be, it's for the kids. And I think it just boils down to how I was raised. I can try to find all the fancy words for it or whatever.
Right.
It's just the cloth that we cut from, man. What? Okay, we raised, say, $500-$600. What am I doing? Put it in my pocket.
Right.
We're pretty good. I got a picture from TJ Maxx. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? So what's a couple extra dollars gonna do in my pocket?
Right.
Give back.
School as big. And I mean, I'm gonna tell you, I've been a principal of a private school, and I remember one day, I mean, we had nothing that we needed. I mean, we had some stuff, but there was a lot that we needed, and I remember one day my secretary and I are sitting in the office talking about how we're going to raise money for something or how we're going to do something. And the doorbell rings, and she goes to the door, and she comes back in my office with this big box.
Yeah.
She said, come on. And I go out there, and there's more boxes. And I'm like, what's this? And it was, I think it was like a Save-A-Lot store. And they said, we just wanted to come bless the school, and we picked you up. And I'm talking about pencils, pens, everything from this store that they could possibly have given us. And we're sitting there like, oh, this happens for real. Okay, because, I mean, I've seen it happen, but it had never happened to me.
Yeah.
And for somebody to just come and say, okay, we want to do something for you, it's big, and it means a lot, and it makes you want to. I think those things that you get those days stretch longer than anything else. You know what I'm saying? I mean, those pens.
The thing was when the first year, I'd be transparent. First year we didn't make any money.
Okay.
Even. Second year we sold out and we made a couple of dollars.
Okay.
And I took some stuff to a daycare, and like I said, I just roll up. They don't know me. I'm surprised they let me in the door because they don't want you near your kids and all of that stuff. So I was talking to the ladies, and they was like, "Oh my God, thank you!" Oh, so they opening the box, and I get a little bit for myself as far as seeing their response.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's my gift.
Right.
So he was like, "Oh, you don't understand," and we take it for granted. We can go to Walmart or whatever and get onesies and Pampers, and she said kids are coming there with no Pampers on. They get the lady, the mom or whoever's got one pamper, and that's it. They don't have any socks for the day. They got one sock. They mix match. They got to have an extra pair of clothes. So they
Right.
borrowing clothes from another kid to give to this kid because they spit up on themselves. Just little things like that we take for granted because
Right.
we doing okay.
Right.
But for them to be that pumped off of these little things that I'm looking like, this ain't, I'm thinking, this ain't nothing. But
Right.
they're just like, oh my goodness, thank you,
Right.
thank you, So and for
Wow.
that kid to be able to get something, just some fresh clothes, just for
Right.
the day, a fresh onesie, a fresh little outfit, and I'll just go to the store and I'll get a 2T, a 3T, a 4T, and a 5T, and I'll take it and put it in the bag.
Right.
And so, and we'll show the ladies, we'll film it and we'll post it on our social media, and we'll say, ladies, this is what you did
Right.
for the children. And I
And
don't
so
go
you don't even
back.
take credit for that. You don't even take credit like I did. The
Yeah,
ladies
no.
enjoy the show, and you're like, ladies, this is what I want to know, because you got stars out here who do things, and I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you were sort of brought up the same way I was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
And we might be wrong about this, but it's the attitude that we were told that people do things to keep their stardom going. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, I'm going to give to this charity, or I'm going to do this. You don't even have a stardom. You know what I'm saying?
No,
You're just that dude.
I'm just a guy.
And they don't know who you are. They don't know how to get in touch with you again. They don't know none of this. You come in and you're random. So next year you'll go somewhere else, or you do something else. So you're like that Secret Santa. You're just popping up.
Yeah.
Just want to bless you. And like you said, I'm sure there is a response when people appreciate. That makes you feel good. So you're out here doing something that gives you. Well, you're doing two things. You're entertaining women on a positive and appropriate level that they can't get on a regular basis. So I'm sure there are people who are now waiting for the next show. And then you're blessing kids and teachers, because whoever the teachers are, they are blessed by that as well. So it's weird because you're not going to hear people sitting around saying there's guys like you out here doing this. What made you and I know you grew up in Louisville, right? What made you fall in love with the community enough to say, you know what, I want to make sure that my community is good?
I think I know it was my mom, first of all.
Okay.
She put us in a atmosphere of where, at our church, Magazine Street, Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Okay.
And that's all we used to do, man. We go give back to the community. We used to give out fruit.
Right.
We'd go and they have the thing, back to school things, and people would come to the church and get bags of back to school, and we'd go out and donate different things to the community, and door to door, knocking on the door. Hey, we just want to give y'all a church pamphlet.
Right.
We just want to give you a Bible. We
Right.
just want to, you know what I'm saying? So just giving to other people, it's just been instilled with me since I was little. My sister, all of my friends, especially from church, once you grew up in the church, it's in me
right.
to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's just where it came from. And I saw Shaq on one of his shows that he has or whatever, and he was in Walmart. He bought a kid a bike, and I was like, oh, I want to do that.
Right.
That guy, man. I love
great.
it.
I saw another one of him yesterday where a young lady was interviewing him, a little girl. And she said, I met you before. Do you remember? And he was like, yeah, I remember that. And she said, her brother was trying to get an autograph from him. And Shaq told him, no, let the young girl go first, ladies first.
Yeah.
And she said, you taught my brother a good lesson, And he said, I made a bet with you that day too, didn't I? And she was like, yeah. He said, and I lost. So I owe you some money. And he just pulled out a knot.
Yeah.
So this girl got to be like 9 or 10 years old. And she's looking like, for real?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, I got to pay my debts. And this and other. And I was like, wow. I mean, this guy is really like a philanthropist, but he's not taking record. And I think that I'm not saying people who don't take record of what they're doing are better than people who do, but it gives a different feeling. You know what I'm saying?
It does, man. It does.
For us, we need that. I mean, we were poor growing up, but we were in church and we did the same thing you're talking about. And it was weird to me because, you know, the church would be like, oh, we're going over to these projects to do this, that, and the other. And I'm like, okay, cool. And we go there. And then I go home to a different set of projects.
Yeah.
Nobody's knocking. And I'm like, when's somebody going to knock on our door?
Yeah.
You know, what we was giving away. And it wasn't like I was being selfish, but I was like, if the projects is where it happens, then where's the church near us? You know what I'm saying? And it was weird to realize that it's mostly poor people giving poor people stuff. You know what I'm saying? Or people who have been poor, or people who have just risen above that poverty line that are giving back. You know, I mean, because we
and I love it. I actually, the last daycare I went to, I went like on my lunch break or whatever, and it was nap time, and one thing I always keep in mind, like as far as people's children,
right,
I'm a stranger to them,
right.
So I don't try to deal with the kids. I don't, you know, I would love to watch the kids be like, hey, ooh, you know, I want that.
Right.
But they were asleep.
Right.
And it was so quiet in there. I didn't get my joy that I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I wanted the teachers to kind of, oh, what's that? What's that? So everybody was asleep. The lights are off. So I talked to the owner and she was like, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. You know, and I didn't get what I wanted. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get that thrill of, you know, and that's all I really want. I don't need no, I didn't even tell her my name. I told her my name, but she probably doesn't remember. I'm in and out.
Right.
You know, and it's not like, ooh, shout me out, remember my name or whatever.
Let's take a picture.
Yeah, it's none of that. None of that. And nobody knows where I took it to. No, it's anonymous.
Right.
So the last, I want to say 4 daycares I've been to, nobody knows but me.
Okay.
So that's
a lot. That's a lot. That's a
lot.
Yeah,
I don't, you know, it's just one of them things, man. If I can help somebody, you know, get through just another little day or whatever, a parent that needed something. My mom was a single parent, and I'm pretty sure, you know, we will hand me downs. We got.
I had an older sister, and I still want it. So I mean,
it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that bad for me.
I remember this. My sister had a white pair of Pro-Kids.
Yes.
Blue pair, the navy blue. And this got to be late 70s.
Yes, sir.
And this is probably one of the last times my sister was bigger than me. So you know, she's about 18 months older, so they were small for her. I think they were like size 7 or whatever. And that's before I knew that there was a difference with men and women's sizes, because we bought the sneakers in boy sizes, I guess. And I think I was wearing a 6, and my feet got bigger, and hers, you know, she grew out of those, but then I got those. And so now I have white Pro-Kids, and I'm like, I'm wearing my sister's Pro-Kids. Like, this is crazy. Like, everybody just saw her with these on, you know? I'm rocking them. So, but luckily, she was one to keep stuff neat and nice, so she could hand me down stuff. My brother didn't get hand me downs because he's 4 years younger than me.
Oh yeah.
And I was the kind to tear my stuff up. Like, by the time I finished wearing it, it was
done.
Well, yeah. So he just was like, he don't know nothing about that, you know. And so it's.
But I do. I had a homeboy. He was a little bit bigger than me, and he always got the nice stuff, the polo and the Levi's and all of that. He got that, so he'd be like, man, you want some, you know, you want these jeans? You know, I'm like, yeah, you know, I'll take them, you know. And mom's took care of us though. We always had. We always had. I gotta give her that. You know what I'm saying? We always had a roof, we always had food, lights were always on. Mom's definitely held it down.
That's great. Listen, I mean, there's a great testimony in that, just the work ethic and the giving back and all that, because like I said, when you're barely making it yourself and you you give, that's bigger. And I had a meeting with some guys years ago. We were talking about trying to do something in the community when I lived in Nashville. And we were all talking about, they were like, hey, but when I start making this money, I'm gonna do that. I said, you know what, let's just do it now. And they was like, what you mean? I said, while we don't have nothing, let's just give now.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
like, I said, because it means something now. It's a sacrifice. It's going to be from our heart. It's not going to be, oh, I got $1 million, so here I give them 1,000. No, let's do it now. And they were like, wow, that's big. And when we did it, it meant something to the people who got it, and it meant something to us. You know what I'm saying?
And
I
that's
think
I don't like waiting. I don't
right,
waiting. I don't like. That's why I've done a lot of stuff over the years myself.
right,
You know, they will you gotta wait for this and wait to do this type of show. It's like, nah, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right, and we're gonna keep pushing. And then also, I won't say don't give to the big, charities.
right,
I won't say that. You do what you want to do.
right,
As far as me, I don't have time to pay the big corporation and then that money trickles down to the
right.
little man. I don't know. We
People
gonna
to
get
get
yeah,
there.
they need it now. They don't
Right,
have to wait for the CEO to get it, vice president to get theirs, the treasurer to get theirs. Then it filters back to the people a month later. No,
right,
we're going right in there right now, and I'm gonna put it in your hand.
right. And believe me, like as soon as you can put it in their hand, it's being used. I
Yeah,
mean, right away. There's no question that
absolutely. And then
somebody
we gave $1 million, but only 100,000 hit the streets.
right, right.
Nah, we ain't doing that. We
Nah,
ain't, no,
I feel
we
you.
ain't doing that.
So how do you think this can continue? Because to me, what you're doing is something that's very needed in our community. So how can we get this to be? And I'm not saying I don't want everybody to be Isaac Conn. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You have your way of doing things, and the people who you could teach and the people who you could reach out to will do things their way. But
Mhm.
how can we get this notion of we're responsible for each other and we're connected and we need to give back even if we don't have everything we want? How can we get that out into our community right now?
Well, I think one, just calling me up and getting us on tour, and we can do this all over the country.
Well,
Uh,
listen, that's
so
why I say
you
that.
know, that's one way we can do that way. But no, but for everybody to just kind of do their own thing. I mean, you can do it in small groups, like say, a couple of frat brothers or whatever want to collect a certain amount of, just go to a certain store and just buy a couple of suits and
Right,
just take them to some of the young guys in the community and say, all right, let me fit you up with a suit or a nice outfit, and just do it like that. Or just people collecting a couple of dollars a week, and every month they go buy some Pampers and
right,
take them straight to the daycare and just drop them off so they can have a nice stash of Pampers. I mean, just whatever they you want to do, whatever
looking more
you
at the attitude.
mind.
I'm looking at the
Yeah,
attitude behind it because I think
yeah,
that everybody would do this if they had this attitude. But where does now it seems I'm a teacher, so I'm out there every day with these kids. It seems like the attitude is more of give me than it is me giving to others. And I think every kid has it in them to want to give. I took a group of kids to an Indian reservation, and before we left, I had to stop my kids from giving all their clothes away.
yeah,
A lot of these kids at the reservation didn't have much. And so kids were like, oh, I want to give him this outfit, Mr. Watson. I'm like, hey, did you call your mother? Because she
yeah,
sent you here, you know what I'm saying? She sent you here with 6 outfits. You need to come back with
yeah,
6. If your mom says, okay, one kid had a bunch of sneakers and he never acted like he didn't even want people to touch his stuff, but he was trying to give everything away because everybody got touched. And they were just like, oh my
yeah,
gosh, this is so needed and I can be a part of this. And I was like, I get it. So I saw kids transform that I had never seen before. And I know that everybody has it in them, but how do we get that attitude out there? I mean, it seems like it's pervasive right now for everybody to want. And I would love the biggest thing I want to do with this show is come together across the country, speak to kids, speak to adults, give things out, all of that stuff. That's how I think our community can come together. But in your area, where you're at in Louisville, is there a need for kids to be educated on their community and the love of their community, or to be pulling together like that? How is it? What's the temperature out there right now?
Actually, I don't know. I don't,
Okay.
I don't deal with the kids a lot. My kids are older,
Okay.
so once your kids get older, you kind of get out of that
You say
circle of like you're a teacher. You around kids. You got your ear to the ground in that
unfortunately, I
circle.
can't get out of it. Right. I can't. Unfortunately, I
Yeah.
cannot.
So I don't know, but I know there's a lot of programs around here. I know there's a lot of people doing certain things just like that. They have somebody mentioned the other day, there's one at a church. I don't know the exact name of it, but they're doing things. There's spots we have a lot of programs that
Okay.
people can get help, and there's community things that are going on.
Right.
But just people have to do it themselves just for it to be genuine,
Right.
because some people want, oh, okay, I'll do it. Let me get an LLC first, and then so I can write it off, and
Right.
then I
Right.
can,
Yeah, right.
it's like,
And that's not
all
a
right, man.
bad.
It's not.
You don't want to have to wait for stuff. You want to be able to jump in, and soon I'm telling you, somebody's going to make you that soon, Isaac. I'm sure somebody's going to come to you like, hey, let's write this up so we can make this legit and do this and the other. And I'm sure after you're doing it so much, if you end up doing 4 shows a year and you're giving stuff away 4 times a year, then they're gonna be like, yeah, we need to make this a company.
Yeah,
You know? And we need to prepare.
yeah.
We need to do this and
I've
that.
I've had some people approach me on it
Oh,
already.
I'm sure. And I
Yeah,
mean, I think that whatever has failed with you is not necessarily because things were going wrong. It might not have been the time, or
yeah. It's always
it's always something.
once I sit down with that person and I hear their true intent,
Right.
and if it doesn't match up with what I want or what we should do or whatever, then I'll just let it slide. It's like, that's cool, yeah, but let's go on and move into another direction, because
Right.
they have
Right.
a
Right.
different intent.
Right. You
They
have to
trying to make money. They see dollar signs.
Right.
A
You have
lot
to
of
have
a lot of guys see dollar signs when you come in the room and you see 200 and some women sitting in there, and it's a full house
right.
and it's packed and it's a band and this and that and everybody's partying. They start doing the numbers. They like, he charged how much a ticket, and there's how many women in here.
Right.
It's like, okay, I can make such and such amount of money, and it's like,
Right.
that's not where I'm at.
Right. This is all a philanthropic effort. So it's like it's all going back out. And that to me is what means like you might need to have a nonprofit or something like that, because your money
Right.
goes right out. And that's great. And I think that y'all have great musicians in Louisville. Just a few that I know that of people that we
Yeah.
know together are insane musicians. So
Yeah.
I know that there's probably a bunch of other people that I don't even know about that can come
Yeah.
through. And the way that the family structure there, I love. I'm shocked at how many times I've been to Louisville just to not to do anything, just to hang out with my boy that was there. And it's like that's how I met you. That's how I knew some other people. You know what I'm saying? It's like
Yeah.
this is a great spot, man. And everybody was it was Southern, it was family oriented, and it felt like everybody was sort of looking out. So I loved it, and I know that that's a big thing for y'all.
Because my sister.
Yeah, and your sister went to school with me. So, but that's funny because I met you, and I was like, "Is he related to Stacy?" And it was like, "Yeah." Okay, why she ain't never tell me about this dude? Like,
Yeah.
this dude is off the chain, man. Okay, cool.
Because y'all met at Oakwood, right?
Right. So
Yeah.
to meet, and I'm always meeting siblings like that. It's like your sibling didn't tell me, but I met you somewhere else, and I'm like, oh, okay, cool. That's all. So it's crazy, and it's a big family effort. But I'm going to tell you that I want to definitely capitalize on this in a way that doesn't promote me, but that promotes the goal of this show, which is for
the cause.
to come
As long as we keep the cause going, we can make some dollars. Trust me, I ain't doing it just for fun.
I'm trying to pay for it, you know what I'm saying? But if it can work out, then it's good, because right now I feel like the thing that's breaking us up, our community, is that our women and our men are fighting each other on a constant basis, and somebody has so many things in the pipeline that we're saying stuff about each other that's not even true. I mean, we're still telling people that there are more black men in jail than are in college. That's not
Yeah,
true.
that's not true. And that's what I'm glad you brought that up, because it's a lot of blanket statements that people make, and it's stigmatisms that we still believe in, and it's like that's not. If people say, oh, it's black men in jail, and I'm like, I'm thinking, out of all the people I know more people out than in. I
Right.
know more fathers that deal with their kids than not.
Definitely.
And
And the study has
yeah,
the study
yeah,
has
it's like
by
that's
CDC.
not the case anymore. That's
Right.
not those blanket statements, and those stigmatisms are not the same anymore.
Was it ever the case? Is what now I'm wondering about. You know what I'm saying? Who knows? Because you know,
I doubt it.
it's a lot that goes on. It's a lot that is said, and I think that we're taking the brunt. But now that we have this, and I'm not against. I don't want anybody out there to think I'm not against any women's movements and things like that. I really think that women should be treated equally and all of that stuff, and respectfully. But there are things that are being said that sort of push men to the side and make us argue. And it seems to only be happening in our community. And so, you know, I think that that's something we need to realize is that we're not going anywhere. I don't care what your fight is. We are not going anywhere without each other. That's not going to happen. You can't win if
Right.
you're in the LGBTQ community and you're black. To me, you can fight both causes, but you better not leave that black cause alone, because even if LGBT gets everything they ever wanted, you're still a black one. You know
Right. Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's been
you know,
said.
right. And so I need people to see that, because you're still going to have to fight this black fight in whatever other organization you're in. And so I just want us to be able to come together, because we need each other. You know what I'm saying? I don't care who you are, what your gender preference is, your religion, your this and other. If you're part of this struggle, I need you in this. We need your input. We need your compassion and love, we need togetherness, and that's what I want to see. And so what you're doing right now has no boundary. When you walk into some place, you don't know who these people are. You don't know what they believe. You don't know all the stuff. All you know is they need, and you have to give. And you know that's big. Definitely want to commend you on that. That's something that that our community needs a lot more of. And like you're doing, to you, I'm sure it's a small thing right now, but to those people, it's big. For a mother to come and pick
Right.
up her and her kid has on some new clothes, and she's like, "Hey, where'd they get this from?" "Oh, well, they went to the bathroom and they clothes, but this man today bought some." What?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, have no idea who you are, but they thanking God. They're like, "Yo, I appreciate it," you know. And
Yeah.
that's how life is supposed to be. And so I would definitely love. I mean, I don't know if any of our viewers would love to get in touch with you to maybe give donations or to find out about your show. So let people know the most appropriate way to get in touch with you right now. So if they want to know more about the night out for the ladies and when it occurs, and you know, just so they can stay in touch or check out your advertisements when they come out.
Well, I just have this regular social media, Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
Isaac, and you can get me on there. Just inbox me.
One
We
more
used
time.
to do the huh?
Say it one more time. What is it?
Isaac Conn.
Okay, Isaac
Nothing
Conn.
fancy.
Okay,
Yeah,
Facebook and
nothing
Isaac.
fancy. I'm too old to have all them fancy names, man. It's just Isaac Conn. That's it.
Okay.
Uh, but no, we usually do the shows around March or April of every year.
Okay.
And so you can hit me up on those social media sites and inbox me or whatever, and I can give you more information once we have it as far as the shows are concerned. So that's
Okay.
basically it. And if you need to get with me directly and you're serious, then you can get with Brian and we can vet you, and then he can give you my real information.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm now the booking agent, so I will take
Yeah, yeah,
I'll take that cut of the diapers and the socks. So no problem. No
yeah.
problem. No problem at all. Well, listen, man, I definitely appreciate you. This was a long time coming. We kept going back and forth. But listen,
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to stay in touch with you, because I really do want to get this off the ground, and I want us to get out into the communities and really do some work, because
So where are you at now?
huh?
Where are you at now? What?
I'm in Maryland, and we're doing.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
So I'm really, like I said, I'm willing to travel, to speak, to do all of this, because I think that people see stars and movie stars and artists and everything out there, and I think that sometimes there's not a connection because they know these people are famous, and they're like,
Right.
okay, do that. But when they see everyday people coming out to speak and giving up their time and knowing that I gave something up to come out here, I didn't, I'm not on tour with my new record album or whatever.
Right. No, I'm at the house. I got to work Monday.
Exactly. So I might have to work today, no matter what day it is. So
Yeah.
I think that is when people will start to connect, and when they hear that not only did you might have grown up the same way they grew up, you might still be living the same way they live. And so
Yeah.
it's what it is. So definitely, like I said, thanks a lot. We'll definitely stay in touch with you, man, and we'll let you know how things are
I
going.
appreciate you having me, man. It was fun.
No problem, man. We'll do this again soon.
Yeah.
All right, take it easy.
All right, Doc.
Hey, everybody. I want to thank you for coming out today. I had a great time talking to my boy Isaac Conn from Louisville, Kentucky. Definitely get in touch with him if you want to know more about the things that he's doing. And let us know, here at Come Together about how you feel about the show. And if you have any community ideas of things that we might be able to bring to your community, or, just things that we might be able to do to help our community at large, definitely leave me a message and let me know what you're thinking about. And we can talk about it and see how we can work it out. All right. Thanks so much. I hope to see y'all again on the next show. Have a great one.